y'all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. Thank you so much for being here today, for taking time out of your life to sit with me. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please go check out my website. Buy the We Are the Standard coloring book. De-stress, let go of some of that anxiety, and we're gonna get into this conversation, okay? So today I want to talk about how I maintain happiness in 2020. You know, how I maintain happiness in the world. You know, under all the things that black women are succumbed to, out of all the things that black women, you know, have to deal with, and how, you know, we're constantly dragged in the media by people of our own race who's supposed to protect us. How do I maintain happiness? Okay, so I'm gonna just run through 10 reasons. I put up 2, but what I mean is 10 ways that I stay happy, period. Okay, the main reason for me is having 90% of my energy reserved for me. Listen, I'm a lot of work, okay? So I don't have time to pour into a lot of people, especially if they don't pour into me, okay? If you pour into me, I'll pour into you. Sometimes, you know, I make these videos, it takes effort. I have to put on makeup when I'm sitting around lounging and I don't really feel like it. I have to get in front of you guys. I have to sit for a couple hours to edit these videos. That's pouring into you, but to me, it's worth it for a greater good for black women. But in my day-to-day, I don't pour into people who don't pour into me. I don't pour into people who, a friend that wants your advice but never gonna listen to it, and you sit and you know, pull into her negative energy, and then you try to problem solve and she don't listen. Or whether it's your parent, whoever it is, even your significant other, whatever it is. And honey, I'm talking about even your children, okay? Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just have to say no and choose yourself. So 90% of my energy is reserved into bettering myself, you know, to learning even more every day about who I am, about why I move the way I move, about my decision making, why I do the things that I do, what my triggers are, everything. That is a lot of work, a lot of work. And in order to be able to do that, you know, successfully, I have to reserve my own energy for myself. The second, you know, reason I'm able to stay happy in this world, knowing what's important, knowing what's not important, knowing where to give your time and where not to give your time. Some battles just aren't worth fighting, especially if the outcome is not gonna be something that is gonna benefit you in any way. What is the point of arguing about something if you're not gonna be rewarded at the end of the argument with whatever it is you're arguing about? Take a seat, put it on reserve, pick it up later, put it in a little box, lock the box, put it on top in the top of the closet, close the closet door, go in the closet when you get a chance and deal with it. But if it's not gonna benefit you now, don't do it. Now, this is arguably one of the most important ways that I stay happy, is knowing my boundaries. Not just knowing them, creating them. In order to know your boundaries, you have to create them. You have to figure out what makes you uncomfortable. You have to figure out what's too much. Like, you have to set boundaries and stick to them. People will cross the line. People will test you. Your own kids will test you. Your parents will test you. Your friends will test you. A lot of the time, your man will text you. A lot of the time, they're not even doing it maliciously or intentional, but people will naturally test you because, again, the whole point is to do for yourself, self first. So a lot of people are self first. A lot of people care about their own agenda. So learn what makes you uncomfortable so you can set boundaries in whatever aspect. Even if you're at work and something is too much, especially if it's not your own business, don't do it. It's as simple as that. Learn what your boundaries are, set them and stick to them. Okay, so one of the other reasons, what is this, reason number 5? Reason number 4, I freed myself from Blackistan, okay? Freed myself from feeling like I had to fight for Black Lives Matter, Black causes, racism, whatever. I freed myself from that. And that freed up a lot of negative energy. That got rid of a lot of negative energy. It got rid of a lot of turmoil and frustration and stress, okay? Every time we consume these things, every time we drown in what's going on in the world around us, you know, it does something to our psyche. Even if you find you're a functioning addict, even if you're a functioning depressed person, like, it's still there, and it'll manifest in physical ailments, it'll manifest in mental ailments, emotional ailments, in so many ways that's really out of your control. And a lot of times we may think we deal with something, but we haven't, and it'll manifest in physical pain. So that's why it's really important for us to, like I said before, is know boundaries and know when something is too much. You know, I really freed myself from a lot of this after Korean Games, and after that I was like, I can't continue to consume this. Now, I'm not advocating for ignorance, I'm not advocating for you not being aware of what's going on in the world. Take it in doses. When you have the ability to soak it in without it affecting you, listen, even that's a task, to know when you have the ability to know, like, today I'm not here for it. You know, I'm feeling away, like my energy is low, I can't do this today. Maybe I'll pick it up next week. If I don't, oh well, it wasn't meant to be. So a lot of this is internal work. A lot of things resulting around, you know, being able to be happy, choosing happiness, is knowing yourself, knowing everything about yourself, and continuing to learn more every single day. And I think that was 2, freeing myself from racism and freeing myself from Blackistan, because I no longer, I'm not obligated to be pro-Black. I'm not obligated to put the Black community's needs in front of my own, because at the end of the day, we know that Black community means Black men and male identified Black women. Black people equals Black men. It does not care, cater, or concern itself with Black women. I am free from Blackistan, and a lot of my troubles went away, because the psychological damage that happens, and as KSC will say, the double consciousness and the toll that takes on your person, is drowning. It's too much for the best of us. And I'm a very emotionally mature person. I'm a very emotionally aware person, and it took a toll on me. So I let it go. When you cater to a community who wouldn't care if that very community harmed you, it's like, what do you do? Double consciousness equals stress, okay? It is stressful, plain and simple, to have to choose someone else before yourself. It is insane and downright silly to have to decide if you want to protect yourself or protect the person that could be harming you. Absolutely not. And to that I say no. On a lighter note, another way, and arguably another very, very important way that I maintain my happiness, is to find things I like to do. You know, find hobbies, you know, get new hobbies. If you don't have anything to do, find something to do. Occupy your time. time, okay? Find things that you like to do, you know, crafting, biking, whatever it is. Find something that you like to do as your outlet, you know, coloring books, okay? For me, honey, I thought I was gonna color a little bit and maybe do the rest the next day. I got soaked into it. Everything that was going on around me, I was watching a movie, like I had to rewatch the movie, like I just could, you know, everything just lifted away. So for me, you know, sitting down and coloring, which is art therapy, you know, if you don't like coloring another way, you know, painting or something like that, it just kind of, you know, it helps in so many ways with brain health, with, you know, functioning, and like it just helps in so many ways, and it really lifts burdens on a higher level, you know, than you will ever even understand. If you don't like coloring, then something else, some other hobby or something that you like doing, create whatever. Finding healthy outlets for, you know, when you're stressed out, when you are high anxiety, you know, finding healthy outlets for that. Maybe a therapist. You know, sometimes we love to vent with our friends, but sometimes we and our friends are not qualified to help us through these issues. So talk to a professional, talk to somebody who's been through it. Find even a YouTuber who's experienced it, preferably someone older. But the best way would be just to get a therapist. Even if you find a free therapist, like a counselor or something, a good counselor that's like, I know a lot of churches and stuff have counselors, and just find a counselor, a church counselor, whether it's a pastor or otherwise, who won't, you know, if you're not too much into religion, who won't, you know, make everything about praying and all of that. There are some well-rounded, you know, pastors and stuff who can talk real world issues. Just, you know, do your homework. If not, a lot of therapists are included under insurance, so you can file insurance for it. Let your stress out. If you don't like therapy, if you don't want to go to a therapist, much like myself, find a different outlet. Again, art, creating, you know, fitness, working out, riding bikes, whatever you want to do, whatever you can find to do that makes your heart happy, do that, okay? But let it out. And sometimes you do have to let things out in a specific way, and that's where talking or even journaling or something like that is important, because you're talking about the thing that's bothering you. You're acknowledging with your mouth. That's what makes it real. You're acknowledging with your mouth that you recognize, acknowledge the problem, and that you're choosing for, you know, to work this problem out and to let it go. Sometimes creating and sometimes working out and stuff like that it helps for the moment, for the day. But if you don't address the actual issue, it's just going to resurface. So talk about the issue, figure out what you need to do, solve your problem, and move on. Something that's really important for me, how I maintain happiness, is traveling. Like meeting new people. You know, sometimes we get so wrapped up in our own experiences, in our own world, in our own habits, and we don't realize that there's a whole world out here, a whole world of people that are just waiting to come across you, just waiting to experience you, and you would benefit from experiencing them. Like, it's a whole world out here just waiting for you to experience culture and experience life, and just really get a new lease on life. You know, get some perspective, because a lot of times we sit in our own filth, we sit in our own habits, and we don't realize that things aren't always the way they seem. Things aren't always, you know, what you think they are in your little bubble. One of the last ways I maintain happiness, last but not least, is by choosing it. Okay? happiness, much like love, is a choice, okay? Some may disagree, and that's fine. But for me, happiness is a choice. You have to, and sometimes you might not need to choose to be happy today. If you need to let something out, if you need to vent, talk about something, today you might want to choose to be angry. But as far as happiness goes, happiness is a choice. You know, some of you may know that my brother was one of the most important people in my life, okay? And yet and still, he's gone. I'm here. I have to live. So I have to wake up. Yes, sometimes I'm sad. Yes, sometimes, you know, it's overwhelming. But I try to let it out. I try not to, you know, put on a brave face about it too much to where it's inauthentic. But every day, I have to get up and choose to be happy regardless. Okay? Me being sad, me being angry, even me being happy is not gonna bring my brother back into this dimension, back into this life. You know, so I have to choose to be happy, period. I have to choose to smile. I have to choose to enjoy this life. I have to choose to enjoy the people in my life, to just bask in where I am, where I've come from, to bask in my growth. I have to choose that. And I will argue that is the main reason. If not anything, that is the only thing you need to do, is to choose it. I choose to be happy today, and you can choose to be happy today. You don't have to be happy every single day of every single moment in your life, but you can anytime you're ready and willing, okay? So choose it. Sometimes it's just that simple, okay? And the last and the 10th thing that I want you guys to understand about how I maintain happiness is asking myself, so you ask yourself, why you don't think you deserve to be happy. Why don't you deserve to be happy? Find a reason, okay? Find a logical reason and see if it makes any sense. There is no reason why anybody deserves to be unhappy. Well, that's not true. But I guarantee you, people who's wondering about being happy probably deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to be, you know, content with who we are, where we are, what we are, and everything else you can think of, okay? And if you dare try to say, well, not everybody wants to be happy, well, what about this, what about that, then you need to choose to be happy and stop being miserable and get the point of the video. That is all that I have for this video. Listen, if you want to de-stress, listen, check out my coloring books. If you haven't ordered one already, if you have and you need to order one for your mother, you need to order one for your niece, whoever, your sister, go ahead and do that. Check out my website. Everything will be in the description box. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. Say it with me. Like, comment, subscribe. Okay? And I will see you in the next video.